Hello, this is Anke Corbin with Globig. We are here in Munich at Werk1 with Flo. Flo, thank you for joining us today. Tell me a little bit about what Werk1 is.
So, since you're now in Munich, Werk1 is, I think, the incubator in Munich. We try to gather all digital startups here together as a meeting space, but also as an office space and a co-working space. And we also have a coffee where you can always grab one of the best coffees in the city. So if you're ever in Munich, just come by and grab a coffee.
How many companies are working in here at any one time?
Well, hard to say. You know, there are a lot of companies who get started every day. Since in our co-working space, people gather and try to start something. But we've rented out 42 rooms now, which contain 37 startups. And we have an FinTech accelerator or insurtech accelerator with now 5 startups. So that's basically the amount of people.
One of the things we're trying to get to the bottom of is what makes Munich and the greater Bavaria a really great place to either expand your company into if you're coming from international or to start up. So share a little bit about what you think are some of the key reasons why Munich and even greater Bavaria are just really great places to do that.
I think some things that are remarkable is that we see that big companies tend to do more events at our space. So they ask us for hackathons, meetups and stuff like that. And we're not talking about, let's say, typical small, medium-sized companies who just want to get involved. We're also talking about the big companies like the HVB or Allianz or BMW and everyone. So we have the feeling that those big companies that are located in Munich really want to support the startup ecosystem here. And on the other hand, we have a lot of great people who grew this ecosystem on their own, like small user groups that grew up to now a conference with 400 people, for example. Or we have Bits and Pretzels, a really big conference who started out as a Weißwurstfrühstück with around 80 people. So we just gathered and ate some tasty sausages and had a small talk about it, and now it grew to a conference up to 5,000 people. So you have a lot of busy people, everyone wants really to push this forward, so great talent here, a lot of international people, and also I'm born here and I don't want to move anywhere else because it's so great to live here. It's just, you go out in the summer in the beer garden, you have the Viktualienmarkt, or you're 45 minutes to the Alps and can go skiing or do a hiking tour. That's really great.
So really a really balanced lifestyle, if you will, right?
Yeah, we even have surfers here. I mean, have you ever heard of the Eisbach wave? Which
I have, but maybe not.
So it's one of the biggest and I think most popular waves in a city where you can surf, and it's interesting since it's really close to old buildings and the really beautiful Englische Garden and quite downtown. And every time you go there, you see a lot of people stopping by and just watching people to surf in a small river within the city. That's kind of crazy. People go there even in the winter. It has -degrees, but people still surf there. They're really crazy about that.
If you're coming from another country, how hard is it, given that they may not be familiar or speaking German, how hard is it to navigate business and do business in English here in this city or in Bavaria in general?
It's not that hard that you might expect. Although Bavaria is quite traditional, we have this old image which is called laptop and Lederhosen. Very, I don't know, I don't like that too much. But the idea behind is that we are quite modern and traditional at the same time. Munich is one of the cities with the most tourists, so yes, we do speak English. And if you think of the Oktoberfest with I think 6 to 7 million visitors this year, not all of them are from Munich or Germany. Most of them are actually from somewhere else, and to try to see what's happening there. So English isn't a big problem, but on the other hand, you should remember that it's maybe also uncomfortable for them. If you go to a typical bakery or something like that, to speak English to you, as uncomfortable as it is for you to try to say you want this. So I think just relax. We have this thing called Münchner Gemütlichkeit, which is more or less like Munich coziness, which means more or less chill. Everything is going to be fine, relax, tomorrow is another day. And I think the same you should do when you try to talk to people here, that you are really I mean, what should go wrong?
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it's no problem. I mean, you can get along quite good with only English skills, I'm for sure.
When you are thinking about expanding, obviously there's so many different things that you need, but one of them is connections and the ability to reach your target and get to know people. How hard is it to meet here? How hard is it to get an introduction? Is it a fairly open place, or do people take time to get to know each other before they're willing to do that, or is it fairly friendly?
I would say it's quite friendly, definitely. One thing I noticed is that we have really this one big ecosystem, but a lot of small ecosystem within it. So it could happen that you are in one group and you don't know of the other group. That's why big events like Bits and Bretzels are important, because they connect all of those groups. But what isn't always an easy start, and I recommend to everyone when I'm somewhere abroad, go to the Werk1, to our place, visit us in our coffee, talk to people who are there. They know the startup scene, they can recommend you. Everyone knows a guy. Bavaria is a place that is, or let's say Munich Munich especially, is the biggest village on the world, we call it. So everyone knows at least someone, and if he doesn't know directly, he knows it through someone else. So you can get along really good and get to know new people and really important people quite easily, I guess.
Culturally, how different is it to do business here from your perspective? Is it quite a bit of an adjustment? Is it more formal? Is it less formal?
Good question. I would say that it's not that hard to do business from an official side. You have, of course, to do legal stuff, but there are a lot of people who can help you with that. And it's also not that hard from a social side. But I think you need to deliver stuff here to really impress people. You can talk a lot about stuff, but in the end, you need to deliver something that's really great. And I think that's important in Munich as well, maybe as anywhere else, but it feels for me more important. The people who are successful really did successful stuff. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So do you have any advice for companies that are thinking about going somewhere in the EU? Why come here? Kind of the last tip for what makes Munich the best place to expand your business into?
We have a really great connection to all over the world. Our airport is really good connected. You have a daily flight to San Francisco. You have a daily flight to Singapore. You can go anywhere in the world from here quite easily. On the other hand, we have this really great quality of living. It's so a short drive to the Alps. You have a lot of lakes around here. It's really a good recreation area. That's a good thing, though. And on the other hand, we have a lot of money here, like investors. We have a lot of big companies here where you can do business and sell your product to. And we have a lot of media companies as well here. So I don't know why you shouldn't start actually here.
With that is absolutely great advice. Thank you very much for joining us today. And this is Anke with Globig. So go global and go big.